Hey everybody, Dave here. As you know, we've been fortunate to have built a pretty influential audience over the years. Security leaders across the globe trust us and depend on us every day to deliver the news and analysis they need to do their jobs. And that's also why so many top security companies and hot startups trust us to connect them to the decision makers and influencers to help get the word out about their brand and fill their sales funnels. We've got lots of great sponsorship opportunities that can help you get the word out too. Just visit thecyberwire.com/sponsorship to learn more and connect with us. That's thecyberwire.com/sponsorship. Thanks. Funding for this CyberWire podcast is made possible in part by Tanium. At Tanium, they know that in a distributed world, both business operations and agencies' missions increasingly begin at the endpoint. Tanium provides unified endpoint management and security for the most demanding IT environments. Their approach decentralizes data collection, aggregation, and distribution down to the endpoint, delivering transformational scale, speed, and reliability across your distributed workforce. Learn why the Department of Defense and half of the Fortune 100 trust Tanium at Tanium.com. Speculation grows that the SolarGate threat actors were also behind the Mimecast compromise. SolarLeaks says it has the goods taken from FireEye and SolarWinds, but caveat emptor. Notes on Patch Tuesday, Joe Carrigan has thoughts on a WhatsApp ultimatum. Our guest is Andrew Chung of O1 Communique with an update on quantum computing. And farewell to an InfoSec good guy. From the CyberWire studios at Data Tribe, I'm Dave Bittner with your CyberWire summary for Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. According to the Wall Street Journal, well-informed observers are moving toward the view that the threat actors responsible for the SolarWinds compromise are also likely to have been behind the Mimecast certificate incident. The Journal puts it, quote, "The Mimecast hackers used tools and techniques that link them to the hackers who broke into Austin, Texas-based SolarWinds Corporation, according to people familiar with the investigation," end quote. Mimecast had been a SolarWinds customer, but not recently, and apparently not within the period in which its own certificate became compromised. How Mimecast was hit remains unknown, and the Journal's anonymous sources appear to have reached their tentative conclusion on the basis of TTP similarities alone. Acting CISA Director Wales thinks more U.S. federal agencies will find themselves affected by the SolarWinds supply chain compromise, Cyberscoop reports, so other shoes may remain to drop. Some, let us presume, loser, or more probably crew of losers, presenting their own self or selves as the threat actor responsible for the SolarWinds compromise, is out there online under the hacker name SolarLeaks. SolarLeaks is offering SolarWinds product source code, all including Orion plus customer portal dump, for just $250,000. And FireEye private red team tools, source code, binaries, and documentation for another $50,000. Or you can get both, plus an unspecified whole shebang of stuff they're still sorting through for the low price of a cool $1,000,000 Yankee dollars. Come on, Huggy Bear is on vacation and we've all gone crazy. Serious buyers only, says they. So hop to it, wealthy elite. Or not. Do we really need to say that there's a greater chance your Aunt Matilda has the winning Powerball ticket than that SolarLeaks really has these or any other goods? But seriously, forget Powerball and Aunt Matilda for now. Bleeping Computer says it tried to contact SolarLeaks through the contact email address the offer provided, but there was no joy there. Whether the SolarLeaks site is what it purports to be remains unconfirmed, as does whether it actually has any of the stolen files it mentioned in its offer. The SolarLeaks domain is registered through Njala, a registrar favored by Russian intelligence services. There's a certain similarity also between the diction in the SolarLeaks come on and what we're familiar with from the shadow brokers. To be sure, SolarLeaks lingo isn't the full-on scriptwriter hekawi favored by the shadow brokers, but it does have a mannered uncertainty about tense and articles that is vaguely reminiscent of the brokers. What's missing from the SolarLeaks offer, of course, is a promise of delivering files from U.S. government agencies known to have been compromised. And to be sure, there's nothing out there offered as a sample. Sure, SolarLeaks did say that nothing in this life is free, but that's what you'd say if you were bluffing, too. Anywho, here are some of the likelier possibilities. First, SolarLeaks could be a poseur, and this has two sub-possibilities. SolarLeaks is either a grifter trying a long-shot con in order to make a few bucks from the curious, the gullible, or the self-important, or they're just some collection of skids rattling the internet's cage for the lulz. Either one of these is possible. Second, SolarLeaks could be for real, and they could represent a cyber gang who prepped and executed the supply chain campaign with the intention of monetizing it. This is possible, but seems unlikely. For one thing, it shows more patience than crooks normally display. For another, it's not clear how the stuff known to have been stolen could be readily monetized. If they really were aiming at theft of something they could easily cash out, this seems like a lot of trouble to go to just to pick up a lot of fulls you could hawk in a carding forum. So, not too likely. Third, SolarLeaks could be for real and represent a misdirection effort by a member of Huggy Bear's brood. Recall that Russian influence operations historically tend to aim at increasing the adversary's friction. They're disruptive, not constructive, entropic, not ordered, and this kind of thing is just more friction. It's like sending Kevin Mandia a postcard to dunk on FireEye. This seems a real possibility. Fourth, SolarLeaks could be for real, but its purpose is just to crow, as if that postcard to FireEye's Mandia the FBI is looking at was really done to count coup. Maybe, but whooping it up seems more cowboy than Cossack, so probably not. Finally, SolarLeaks could represent misdirection by some other hitherto implicated nation-state. Again, maybe, but that really is a priori speculation. If we had to bet, we'd go for door number 1 or door number 3, but that's our own a priori speculation. Yesterday's Patch Tuesday saw software updates from several companies, including SAP, who released 10 security notes, 7 of which represented updates to earlier fixes. Adobe, whose security bulletins addressed Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, Animate, Campaign Classic, InCopy, Captivate, Bridge, and Microsoft, which according to Security Week dealt with 83 issues, 10 of them critical, one of which is undergoing active exploitation. One of Microsoft's patches addresses a Windows Defender flaw, and the Zero Day Initiative speculates in its Patch Tuesday summary that this particular issue was exploited in the SolarGate cyber espionage campaign. We end today on a sad note. The information security world lost one of its own this month. Jonathan Kleinsma, most recently head of threat research at RiskIQ, and a friend of this show, lost his life to cancer last Wednesday. He was just shy of his 30th birthday, taken far too soon. We wish him peace and his family consolation. He'll be missed. And now, a word from our sponsor, ExtraHop, securing modern business with cloud-native network detection and response. The massive shift to remote work has turned the reality of work on its head. With cloud and multi-cloud adoption, comprehensive visibility is more important than ever. But in order to protect your business, you need more than unified visibility. You need intelligence response workflows so teams can collaborate easily and act quickly. ExtraHop helps organizations like Wizards of the Coast detect threats up to 95% faster. As John Kreese, senior IT engineer, puts it, quote, ExtraHop is helping us accelerate cloud adoption by ensuring our workloads are secure. See how it works in the full product demo, free and no forms required, at extrahop.com/cyber. That's extrahop.com/cyber. And we thank ExtraHop for sponsoring our show. Our guest today is Andrew Chung, CEO of 01 Communique, a company that's developing a number of post-quantum cryptographic systems for security. Andrew, welcome to the CyberWire.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Before we dig into the details of some of the goings-on when it comes to post-quantum cryptographic systems, can you give us a little of the backstory and sort of where we stand today? What is the significance of when we're talking about quantum computing? Why is that important?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. So quantum computer can be explained in a layman term as an extremely fast computer. We're talking about millions times faster than a conventional supercomputer. You're not talking about 100 times faster. You're talking millions times faster. It would render traditional encryption useless because they can compress the over a century time needed to kind of hard cracking and encryption in use today to become just a few seconds. So that's the problem a quantum computer is having on the bedrock of cybersecurity today, and we are providing the shield, or you can call the quantum safe encryption to withstand that excessive computing power.
Do you find that there's some skepticism from people that this is going to happen so quickly? It seems to me as though there's a sense that it's always a little bit off in the future, no matter when you ask.
Exactly. This is just like any. I think we are right in one of those best example, like COVID. People ignore it until it happened, and this is we are human being. And human beings tend to be like that. When they see a problem, they say, "Oh, I'll act when it is here." But this is a very serious issue because when it comes, right, it's not like overnight you can convert your system to become quantum safe. It takes time to do it. And even more scary is that hackers today, they can grab your data. Well, your data today is encrypted, so even they grab your data, it's meaningless. That's okay. They can grab your data, but then they just simply put it aside and wait until after Q day to decrypt your stuffs, right? So the protection should already be protected today, not on Q day or even shortly before Q day. And it is very scary. The only fact that people know is that many nations are also pouring billions and billions of dollars in the quantum computing research. And they won't tell you what they have. It's very, very scary, marching from here between now and Q day.
Right. All right. Well, Andrew Chung, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And now a message from our sponsor, CyberReason. If you're a defender fighting to protect your organization from the dark forces of cyber attackers, it might seem attackers have the advantage. To win, they only need to be successful once. As a cyber defender, you must be successful in ending attacks every single time. CyberReason reverses the attacker's advantage. They put the power back in your hands. Their future-ready attack platform gives defenders the wisdom to uncover, understand, and piece together multiple threats, and the precision focus to end cyber attacks instantly on computers, mobile devices, servers, and the cloud. Wherever your organization is being threatened, CyberReason is ready to win the battle against cyber attacks, with you and for you. Join them and the world's leading companies. Together, we are the defenders. CyberReason. End cyber attacks. From endpoints to everywhere. Learn more at cyberreason.com. And joining me once again is Joe Carrigan. He's from the Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute, also my co-host over on the Hacking Humans podcast. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Dave.
Interesting story from Ars Technica. This is written by Dan Gooden, and it's titled, "WhatsApp Give Users an Ultimatum. Share data with Facebook or stop using the app."
Isn't that
What do you think about this? Because, I thought to myself, I'll bet Joe has thoughts on this. So, Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have been on the verge of wanting to delete my Facebook account for so long. And this kind of behavior is exactly why. Facebook bought WhatsApp, I think back in 2014, for a large sum of money. WhatsApp was is an end-to-end encryption communication app, right?
Yeah.
And once they got acquired by Facebook, of course, everybody was like, well, that's the end of that. And it turns out, well, yeah, that is the end of that.
It only took a few years.
It just took a little while. But now they have these terms of service, TOS, that if you don't agree to them by February, it will not let you continue to use the app. So the data that WhatsApp collects includes your phone number, other people's phone numbers stored in your address books, profile names, pictures, status messages, including when the user was last online, right? Diagnostic data collected from the log apps. I actually don't have a problem with that one. That one's actually kind of important from a development standpoint. But under the new terms, Facebook reserves the right to share collected data with, quote, its family of companies. Right?
It's a big family.
That is a big family. And you're not going to have the choice of that anymore. So until next month, that data has always been separated from the vast pile of Facebook data. After next month, it will be integrated into it. And if you don't agree to that, you can't use the service anymore.
Right.
There is another article on The Verge that is interesting. It says, Signal sees surge in new signups after boost from Elon Musk and WhatsApp controversy. So users are evacuating WhatsApp and heading over to Signal. In fact, I signed up for Signal today because I didn't use it before, but I probably should have been. I'd been using Telegram as my my end-to-end encryption messenger service.
Yeah.
But Signal, I think, is better, and it doesn't collect any data at all. It's run by a foundation. It's supported by donations. I like that model a lot better for communicating securely. That's, I think, the better way to go.
Yeah.
This whole thing, though, Dave, there's been talk in Washington about breaking up some of these large tech giants like Facebook and Google.
Right.
I don't know about, or I guess Alphabet. It wouldn't be Google. I don't know about Alphabet, but I think it might be time to break up Facebook. And this is just my opinion, not the opinion of my employer or anybody else. This is solely Joe Carrigan's opinion. But I think that Facebook is a company that we need to actually look at that from a consumer protection standpoint and make sure that, because the amount of data that they're collecting about people is staggering. And the ways they're collecting it is also staggering.
Yeah. Yeah. It's... I think the thing that gets my goat is that there's no granularity here. It's all or nothing. You either share it all or just, okay, fine, go away. If you're not going to let us do this, we don't want you. Right.
Well, guess what? I think Mark, that you're about to lose me.
Yeah. Right. I'm sure he'll lose sleep over it, Joe, just like he did when I shut down my Facebook account. But he'll
cry himself to sleep on his pillow stuffed with $billion bills.
Right. Even if you're not on Facebook anymore, they still track you.
They do.
They still track you around the web. So, I think you're right. I think there's a case to be made for breaking up some of these big tech companies, but I also think there's a case to be made for giving users control of this information in a much more meaningful way. So hopefully we'll see some political will in the coming years, or hopefully sooner than later, that we can get control of this for ourselves, that all this information can't just be shared around without us. Let us opt in. In the very least, let us opt out.
Yes.
Without having to not use the... Anyway, I'm rambling. Everybody knows what I mean here.
Right.
Yeah. It's frustrating, though. It's. Can you tell it's frustrating, Joe? Can you tell?
It is frustrating, and I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
All right. Well, Joe Carrigan, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Dave.
Thanks to all of our sponsors for making the CyberWire possible. And that's the CyberWire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. And for professionals and cybersecurity leaders who want to stay abreast of this rapidly evolving field, sign up for CyberWire Pro. It'll save you time and keep you informed. Share the wonder. Listen for us on your Alexa smart speaker, too. The CyberWire podcast is proudly produced in Maryland out of the startup studios of Data Tribe, where they're co-building the next generation of cybersecurity teams and technologies. Our amazing CyberWire team is Elliot Peltzman, Puru Prakash, Kelsey Bond, Tim Nodar, Joe Carrigan, Carol Terrio, Ben Yellen, Nick Valecki, Tina Johnson, Bennett Moe, Chris Russell, John Petrick, Jennifer Iben, Rick Howard, Peter Kilpie, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow.